Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616. I waited quite a while to make this video for a couple of reasons. The biggest one being that there are a lot of questions on the who's and whys that I wanted to have a bit more information on before I talked about it. Despite the fact that it's felt like an eternity, it's only been just over 1 week since the cancellation of Daredevil. The uproar over this was huge, with all types of fans uniting to tell Netflix how wrong they were for canceling Daredevil. Actors and writers have come out expressing their shock, and there have been a lot of conflicting reports over just why Daredevil was axed, and what kind of future he's set to have in the MCU. So today I just wanted to go over what led to these cancellations, the why of it all as far as we know it, and after that I'll go into what Daredevil's future in the MCU could be, and how likely it is they might recast everyone, or keep the same incredible cast. So first things first, why in all that's holy and just would Netflix cancel Daredevil of all shows? I mean, it was loved by critics and fans alike, Season 3 in particular. The casts were all happy with their roles and eager to do more. The showrunner was set to come back and even apparently had all of Season 4 ready and planned out. On top of that, Daredevil was easily one of Netflix's most popular shows to date. According to Parrot Analytics, a site that gathers viewership information about streaming shows, Daredevil was the 4th most popular streaming show on the week it was canceled. Yes, that was late November, over a month after Season 3 premiered, and yes, that is all streaming services. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. The only shows that performed better than Daredevil in that week were, in order, Narcos Mexico, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and Stranger Things. According to their info, Daredevil finished the last week of November with over 30 million demand expressions. It beat big streaming shows like The Handmaid's Tale, Orange is the New Black, and House of Cards. So, what happened? Why would Netflix cancel one of their most popular shows? It's easy to point fingers at Disney considering they're building their streaming service, but it's important to remember that Disney has no control over any of this. It all comes down to Marvel TV and Netflix, and that's apparently where everything went wrong. As I've said, there are a lot of contradicting reports, but from what I've heard, Marvel and Netflix are both responsible in their own ways. Netflix pulled the trigger, but it was Marvel that led them to do that. Apparently, Netflix was willing to give Daredevil another season, but they wanted to shorten it down to between 8 and 10 episodes instead of the usual 13. This comes from criticisms over pacing and also costs. These Marvel shows are massively expensive for Netflix, between the effects, the action, the NYC shooting, the costumes, so they wanted to cut down the episode count. Seems reasonable, right? Well, apparently this is where things went wrong. In their contract with Marvel, they are set for 13 episodes per season, and for whatever reason, Marvel was not willing to break away from this. This actually happened with Season 3 of Luke Cage as well. It was a large factor contributing to its cancellation. So Netflix wasn't willing to pay for 13 episodes, and Marvel wasn't willing to cut down, which led to the show ultimately getting axed. Really, it just seems like such a stupid thing to cancel a show like Daredevil over. I imagine the contracts involved made everything very complicated, but still, I feel like something could have been worked out. I mean, they did it for Iron Fist Season 2, so why was it so impossible for Luke Cage and Daredevil? When the 4th season was cancelled, the writers' room had already been assembled and had planned out the entire season. Some of them have come out since saying that it was really awesome and would have been the best season yet. However, there is a small silver lining in all of this. In the report announcing the cancellation, Netflix and Marvel both confirmed that the character of Daredevil would live on in future Marvel projects, although they didn't specify exactly when and how and where. Since then, many options have been debated and many articles have come out shooting a lot of these down. So, what exactly are Daredevil's options? Well, in Deadline's initial report, they specified that Disney Plus was an option for a future Daredevil series, or perhaps even a movie. This is a little strange considering Disney has repeatedly said they want to keep their streaming service family-friendly, no higher than PG-13. But Daredevil wouldn't be impossible to cut down a little bit. I mean, his comics are nowhere near as violent as the Netflix series are. But since then, reports have come out saying that Disney Plus just isn't interested in this at all, and would much rather focus on other Marvel projects like Loki and Vision and the Scarlet Witch. A while back, it was reported that, in preparation for their streaming service, Disney was forbidding Marvel TV from shopping their series to any platforms not at least partially owned by Disney. So ABC, Freeform, Hulu, and soon FX and Fox are in. AMC, Amazon Prime, HBO, Netflix, etc. are out. Marvel has denied this, but come on, it's true. Take New Warriors, for example. The series was dropped from Freeform back in 2017 and has yet to find a new home since then. You're telling me that NBC, Sci-Fi, FX, Amazon, none of them are interested at all? It's much more likely the reason New Warriors is still in limbo is because it simply has nowhere to go at the moment, because its only options left, for whatever reason, aren't willing to take it. Although I feel like FXX is a good option for it once the Disney-Fox deal goes through. In any event, with that in mind, that greatly limits Daredevil's options. We can scratch Disney Plus and ABC off the list, as they're far too PG for Daredevil. So that leaves, at the moment, Hulu, Freeform, FX, and Fox. So could we expect Daredevil to get picked up by another platform? I mean, surely with all of the backlash and the show's popularity, somebody's got to be interested. Well, it's complicated. Let's say Hulu picks it up, and they keep the same cast as before. So it's basically a continuation. How do they market this without leading people to Netflix to get caught up? They could have it be a fresh start, sure, with very little carryover from the previous series. But if they don't already know, people are still going to use this neat thing called Google and find out that this used to be on Netflix, Hulu's biggest competitor, and head over there to check it out. So essentially, Hulu would be giving business to their enemy, to put it dramatically. Now, there are some ways this could work out for Hulu. If they could get the first 3 seasons on their service, it'd be perfect. It's very, very, very unlikely Netflix would sell these off at the moment, but perhaps in a couple of years they'd be willing to do so. And maybe if Disney took mercy on us poor desperate mortals and pitched in, they could strong-arm the shows off of Netflix. It'd be hard, but not impossible. And it's entirely possible that Hulu may be willing to pick up the series despite the revenue it might bring to Netflix. It'd be really good rep for them. They save a popular show unjustly canceled, give it a new life on a new platform. But there's another problem: contracts. The actors' contracts with Netflix are, to my understanding, no longer in effect after the cancellation. But Marvel and Netflix's are. And Netflix does most likely still have the legal right to block production on new Daredevil shows for a couple of years. Marvel owns the IP for Daredevil, of course, but Netflix owns this version of the Daredevil series. But as with all of these problems, this could change over time. Netflix's contract will, I believe, expire in a year or two, and Marvel and Hulu could move forward with it then. So there is certainly hope that Daredevil and even the other shows could be picked up by Hulu or, heck, even FX in the future. FX is a network channel, so their relationship with Netflix would be less complicated. I actually think FX would be a great option, although who knows if they'd be interested at all. When the Disney-Fox deal goes through, Disney will own 60% of Hulu. That's enough for them to just say, make this, and for Hulu to make it. So if Disney wanted to keep their fans happy, and why wouldn't they really, they could move Daredevil and even the other shows to Hulu and give them a fresh start on there. At worst, they might have to change their title, so like, instead of Daredevil, it might be Daredevil, Man Without Fear. But here's where it gets tough. Would Disney really want that? The reports coming out are that Disney is much more interested in perhaps rebooting Daredevil a couple of years down the road with an entirely new cast. This is completely 100% the wrong way to go. Charlie Cox is as inseparable from Matt Murdock as Robert Downey Jr. is from Tony Stark, Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool, Chris Evans from Captain America. It's just a terrible idea to even try to recast him. It just would never really work. Charlie Cox is perfectly willing to continue playing Daredevil, as is the entire cast and showrunners. Everybody loves it and would be open to coming back for more. But let's stop for a moment and say that a solo project is off the table, which is unfortunately looking pretty likely. What would be next for Matt Murdock? What future Marvel projects could he appear in? Two popular ones are Spider-Man and Black Widow, two characters Daredevil has a lot of connections with in the comics. I don't know how likely either of these are, though, as the Black Widow movies are basically confirmed to be set in the past, and the Spider-Man movies just seem a little too busy for Daredevil at this point. Obviously, he could appear on shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or, I don't know, Cloak and Dagger maybe, but it'd be kind of a waste of his talents. It's a tough situation, as the best place for this version of Daredevil to be is heading his own series, and that's complicated. So in conclusion, what is the future of Daredevil? Well, it's hard to say. It's possible that Marvel might be able to get another platform to pick up the series for a fresh start kind of thing. It wouldn't be hard, really. With Fisk locked away and Nelson, Murdock, and Page forming, it'd be easy to go back to the basics, shift the focus on new foes, like perhaps Mr. Fear, and slowly rework previous ones like Bullseye and Vanessa into the show in a way that feels natural. It could be done in a way that viewers watching that series wouldn't feel like it was completely necessary to go over to Netflix and watch the previous seasons. But it wouldn't be easy, and it might be difficult to convince someone like Hulu or FX to do this without Disney's help. And it's looking more and more like Disney just wants to let these darker shows die away for a future reboot that will no doubt be much lighter, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Would you like to see Hulu or FX save the series, or do you think Disney should reboot it all? If Daredevil can't get a new solo project, where do you think he could show up next? And what kind of MCU future do you think Daredevil's supporting characters could have, like Karen Page, or perhaps more importantly, the Kingpin and Bullseye? There are some campaigns running to get Marvel's attention for Daredevil's renewal. I've linked to them down below if you want to pitch in. A popular one is sending napkins to Jeff Loeb asking for the series' return. In any event, I'd love to know all of your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.